I think I'm better than you. And I think Nate chose you for a reason. And I think everyone knows that.
What do you mean?
Even in
But what have you done to prove that you're better than me?
I don't know. Went toe-to-toe 8 rounds with the greatest boxer of all time. What do you think happens if you fight Floyd Mayweather?
I would knock him out.
Bro. Go for it. I wanted the Tommy fight.
Wait,
JJ
but I
JJ
didn't.
said he wanted it.
I didn't
said,
take
okay,
a. I
go
didn't
for
take
it.
a fight from you that wasn't.
Hey Fanatics! Netflix documentary anthology series Untold came back with a bang on August 1, and this time we were treated to an episode which followed ex-YouTuber Jake Paul's rise to fame on YouTube and then the boxing world. It included interviews with Logan Paul, his brother, and it gave us some serious dirt on what went on between the two brothers and their dad. Hang in there because we're about to reveal the whole truth today. Jake once said that their parents had been extremely strict with them, especially their father. It was almost like there were two sides, one with him and one with Jake and Logan. But this was before Logan downplayed the abuse rumors. Here are his exact words. Holy shit. Yo, Greg Paul is being. He's a menace. That guy's intense. He continued, saying, Jake may throw around the word abusive. I prefer not quite legal. There was also an interview with Greg, their dad, for the doc. He apparently thinks everything he did was right and claims that people who say he was too harsh on their kids are wrong. And if they gave him a chance, he could probably improve their kids too. Whatever the case may be, he did raise 2 incredibly successful sons. Jake claimed that Greg would slap him, but he doesn't hate him for it. That was the parenting style he knew, so that's what he did. Greg then said the claims were totally false. He said he's never laid hands on his kids. But if Jake was afraid of him, that's fine, because that's how dads are supposed to be. Greg is pretty sure of who he is and what he wants from his sons, saying that at the end of the day, of course, everyone will want to be around a guy who will take a stand and isn't afraid of anyone. Despite the alleged abuse, Jake told the cameras that he still gives the credit for everything he's achieved to his dad. Greg was so hard on them and held them to such a high standard that they had to better themselves. And that was when they really began to think for themselves and find new things to do. Then they got a camera and began recording everything they did. And so, seeing how the numbers on both brothers' YouTube channels went up and up, Jake finally got his big break and booked his gig on Disney Channel's Bizaardvark. From that point on, it was uphill for the two brothers as they continued to rise to fame and began fighting with each other on and offline. Logan opened up about their rivalry, saying that it comes down to the way they were brought up, as well as how he had to live in Jake's shadow for so long. He also said their issues weren't made up for views, and these are real things they go through as a family. Jake is still traumatized to this day about how his dad treated him, so it's not surprising they still don't exactly see eye to eye. Greg even casually drops a gay slur while defending his parenting methods. Logan did admit that their childhood was torture, then turn around and frames Greg's abuse as a positive thing. He even said that when you survive that, you just become stronger, and that he continued to minimize his brother's experience, suggesting that he should instead be grateful for their father's tough love. Logan always had a hard time grasping why the trauma from Jake's childhood still affects him, knowing the monster that it created and how it's affecting his current life. As if to really drive home Logan's point, the director Renzi then plays the intense monologue over some slow-motion footage of Paul fighting UFC champion Anderson Silva and silencing everyone who doubted him by winning the September 2022 fight by unanimous decision. Both Jake and Logan became linked with controversy, with Jake being accused of sexual assault, which he claims is all made up, then also terrorizing his neighbors and a lot of other people with his other antics. And all that led to Disney cutting ties with the influencer. Of course, they wouldn't want to ever risk their family-friendly image. But it seemed to be a blessing in disguise because all their problems only brought the brothers closer. Jake reflected on how at one point it was the easiest thing in the world to tear him down. Hating him became a trend. This was around the time TikTok star Justin Paradise accused him of sexual harassment. Jake has always had a problem with the way the media treats him, not with his own antics. Logan said their family feared for Jake's life at one point because he was about to be totally broke in 2 months. Logan revealed that his brother's always been extremely unpredictable, and things were so bad for him at one point he feared his brother would even commit suicide. He's not the sort of person who can live without a purpose. But that is when Jake turned to boxing. It was after YouTuber brothers from the UK, KSI and Deji, called out him and Logan for a match. Jake said that boxing may be a sport, but it is just as much show business, and it wasn't too hard for him to learn the ropes because he'd been part of a Disney at one point and found that he and his brother are naturals. Even though Jake's legitimacy in the sport has always been called into question, he's been surprising everyone and has found major success by teaming up with promoter Nakisa Bidarian. Say what you want about the guy, real boxer or not, he's worked hard, and after 3 years in the boxing game, Jake found himself squaring off against none other than Tommy Fury, the younger half-brother of heavyweight champ Tyson Fury, in a February 2023 showdown. Before the bout, Logan casually remarked that himself, Jake, Greg Paul, John Fury, Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury are all a little messed up in the head, and we have to admit, we agree. In the end, Tommy clinched victory through a split decision, but Jake managed to win over some of his critics, even earning praise from the legendary Mike Tyson. Tyson quipped that Jake is doing some pretty iconic stuff, but he's not following the conventional hero rulebook, which is why he has haters. But he's making a bigger impact on boxing than some of the champions out there. He knows how to pack seats. As long as he keeps fighting, he's gonna keep the boxing game alive. However, the Netflix documentary has been slammed. Many people have come out and criticized it for making light of abuse. In those interviews, we get a fresh perspective on Paul's journey in dealing with his father's mental and physical abuse. Instead of directly confronting these challenges, he intriguingly portrays his passion for boxing as a constructive outlet for channeling his suppressed trauma into a form of impactful and, yes, even financially rewarding energy. It paints a pretty glamorous picture of Jake, though, like an underdog who's risen to crazy heights and is single-handedly responsible for pioneering the revival of the sport. Jake was making headlines recently, and what's more, they were for all the wrong reasons. But hey, that's his shtick, you know? It's made him crazy rich and famous, so clearly he's doing something right. There was a rumor going around that Jake and Logan were going to settle their differences by fighting in the ring. But Jake insists that won't be happening and is just a false rumor. Tensions ran high in a recent episode of the Impulsive podcast as Jake and Logan found themselves at odds over a range of issues. The sparks flew when Logan unleashed his frustration about his Prime energy drink being banned at Jake's recent bout with Nate Diaz. In response, Jake didn't hold back, accusing his brother of playing a double game by teaming up with his arch-nemesis KSI. Despite the strains in their relationship, Jake made it clear that duking it out in the ring wasn't the solution. He emphasized this on his BS podcast, stating firmly that this won't be happening. Even if they do fight, it'll be for practice, not to settle their feud. As the boxing drama unfolds, Logan is gearing up for a comeback match in October, where he'll take on Dennis, Conor McGregor's longtime training partner, in the much-anticipated Misfits Boxing Prime card. This event also features the showdown between KSI and Tommy Fury. However, Jake wasn't too thrilled about Logan's plans, feeling slighted that his brother was pursuing a match against the Love Island star before him. What are your thoughts on all this? Do you think Jake needs to get over it and be grateful, or is Logan wrong? Leave a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you next time.